I can stand there and talk a lot, but I think it's more interesting to hear a bit also from you, Marius, at Frontline Management, how you've been approaching this problem.
Yeah, sure.
Can you
guys
give
hear me?
a short introduction to yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Marius Aasen. I work in Frontline Management. So we do the technical management for Frontline and Golden Ocean, Flex LNG, Avance Gas, Sea Tankers, and SFL Corp. So quite a large fleet, 250 plus vessels, and then about 30 new buildings.
And you have actually been a co-investor in this tool from the beginning. What was your reason for that?
The reason for that is that we are a small team in Frontline. So with 250 vessels, we have quite a lot to do when it comes to Scope 3. We recognize that we need to take really quick actions. We have a very short time to gather all this data and be able to report. And we want to do this in an efficient way. So we use data, empower employees to manage this. Yeah.
So, I mean, you come from a bit of a background. I know that you have touched upon Scope 1 and 2 emissions management before. Now Scope 3 ended up on your plate. How is it different compared to what you've done before?
It's quite different. It's actually quite a lot more complex, a lot more out of our hands. So for you guys that know the CII and EXI, it's all related to the Scope 1 emissions we can affect. Also emissions that is in our benefit, especially now with EU ETS, that we reduce them. But the Scope 3, for us at the moment, it's not really important to reduce it, but I think we'll see a change in this in the next decade or so. Suppliers not only competing price and quality and delivery, but also maybe on the Scope 3 emissions, because that's the consumer goods.
Yep.
You know, we need to look at everything that's being consumed and emitted to be able to see. Yeah.
And how do you think it will affect the day-to-day work in like a company like yours, like a huge ship owner? What will become different from you and for your ship managers?
I think we'll collaborate a lot more with the managers and with the suppliers. Now the suppliers are quite distant for us.
Yep.
So we're gonna need them to help us to stay compliant. Reporting.
Yeah. Now I had one thing I've written down that I really wanted. Yeah. So I mean, you've been on this. I think you've had a fair bit of foresight in Frontline. You've been on this topic for a while now.
Yeah, we kind of discovered this recently, or say 6 months ago or something like that.
So how? What for those similar to you that haven't really made that discovery yet and getting started? What have you done? Like, what have you learned in this last? What advice would you give to those that are just starting out and just now, perhaps today in this seminar, realizing what Scope 3 is?
I'd understand the timeline you have to report, because for us it's 3 years. In 3 years we're gonna have to report on Scope 3 emissions to the EU and a bit before for the SEC. So you need to understand your timeline, I guess, is probably the main thing. Then complete a materiality assessment, which is a requirement for these reports. So that basically what is material for you, an assessment to see what do you actually have to report. So for Frontline and the group, we identified that we only actually need to report the four to five categories, because these are basically almost 100% of our emissions in Scope 3. Yeah.
Can you even reveal, what's in the top of those?
Yeah, well, we consume a bit of fuel, so
you do.
To tank
would never have
emissions
guessed.
are quite big.
Yeah.
So
fair enough. The known subjects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff we don't know yet, though, so it's interesting to see.
Yeah. And in terms of the application, I give a bit of snapshot on here. What's yours and Frontline's expectations on such a thing?
It's to hopefully this will just manage our Scope 3 reporting seamlessly. That's what the aim is. Yeah.
That's a tall order.
A few people doing Scope 3 is not the sexiest thing ever. So yeah,
that is true. So let's throw the computers on the problem so the humans don't need to bother.
Be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Marius.